human influence. And today is Fun Friday. So, Mr. Callaghy, the question on everyone's mind and everyone's heart is, did the chocolate turkey get hit with a mallet? Yes or no?
There was massive disintegration of the chocolate turkey.
Yes!
There's bags of chocolate all over the place. Yes, there's many bags of chocolate that are now sitting, circulating, ready for distribution.
And the master of influence strikes again.
However, my niece and nephew did end up coming over and contributing.
Nice.
But Courtney and Emma, it is on video, ended up supporting that process and whacking the chocolate turkey multiple times, helping Finn and Madison. So Courtney and Emma were very much a part of the process, even though they rolled their eyes at me at least 3 times during the process for a variety of different things. And I heard at least 3 different times. Heard, right? Because I think I wanted to film it. So there was a, oh my God, there was a hush, oh my God, an eye roll and like, so yes. And I will lean in all of our relationship experts and Neil Gupta's and, for my teenage daughters and all the meanings of those things. So, but no, it was a beautiful day, fun day. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a day that was peaceful, positive, connecting, and to the extent that there was pain and it was not that, my empathy and heart go out. And yes, for all of us, as with empathy and love, including for myself and whatever dynamics are present for me, and there were some for sure. It is all just a story, and so. But it is Fun Friday. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and at least in the traditions of the world I come from, and in the world of Unblinded, we will put that in the ground. It's a day to laugh and have fun, and take an exhale and a breath. So for today, with our gratitude, shares, and all that, I think we should lean into what's fun and what's funny and what do you laugh at? And so if anybody wants to come aboard and share some things in the space of fun and laughter, because we go hard and we are going to be going hard in the month of December here. And I am reading the talent code. Thank you, Michael Smikin, I had heard the talent code. I had dove in deeply, and I'm diving in deeply, and oh my goodness, do we have some things to discuss about practice and its micro distinctions of how pockets of mastery arise. And we're going to be leaning in hard in the month of December and ongoingly with some of those micro distinctions of how do we rise in our influence mastery? What does that look like? And where are these pockets of masterful rising of soccer players and singers and mathematicians, and why there's these clusters like the Miracle on Ice that we talk about these examples. I'm going to have a whole bunch more examples coming up shortly. Like, how did Brazil become a soccer power and futsal emerge as this intentional practice dynamic, which, by the way, as a fun footnote, my daughter Courtney played futsal. And I'm exploding with thoughts about why some people rise faster in their mastery of influence in this program than others, and what the practice dynamics look like and our tension around it. And how exponentiality and acceleration exists, arduous momentum to abundance. And I'm very present to what turns Unblinded truly into the Soviet chess school, the place on earth for business acceleration, period, unparalleled, not even close, makes Harvard Business School like a joke. That's where we're headed. And I think we may be there already with that, but how do we replicate that? But first, we have to become masters of fun and laughter. So for please out there, let's unmute today and share some fun stories and fun things. So Fernando, the dynamic and Adam, do we have AG?
Yes, Adam is here.
Okay, Adam, let's go with Adam first. How was Thanksgiving for you, Adam Gugino?
Thanksgiving was incredible. When I woke up, and we got off of the call, I said, I can't believe there's no calls to make or people to talk to about work. This is just crazy. And so it was nice. But of course I did hop on the computer halfway through the day, as I promised my mom, that I wouldn't on my phone, and just started typing and typing and typing and typing. But yeah, it was amazing.
Well, I did the same thing. That is true. So let's share the fun fact from your club days that you totally do not want anybody here to know? Like, what is a fun fact that you would be deeply concerned that it could cause an impairment to your loving, heart-centered, integrous, heroic, unique identity? Like, what is something in that space? Because you're thinking of it already right now. Like, it's arisen into your mind. And what is it that you want to filter out and not tell these people from
This
back?
is great.
I already know it.
Okay.
So Sean, we always do this first. I already had the fun fact that I was prepared to say, which was, I'm going to tell this one first because this one is fun, and the other one's a little different. But I was talking to Jay Sipple the other day, and I had read some notes around like a strategy call, and I was like really looking at them, and I'm like, wow, there's like very limited information here. This is kind of funny. So I called him up, and I was like, just like kind of questioning him on like, Jay, like, really, is this really? And he goes, I didn't write those. And I'm like, wait a minute, who did? And he's like, those are yours. And I just started dying. I laughed so hard for 3 minutes straight. He says, Adam, I've never heard you laugh like this before. And I'm just like, oh my, I was just, so yeah, I was laughing at myself, and that was pure fun. Just so much fun. I was hoping that would have been my fun fact, but so I
that is awesome, but we're going a little deeper.
Yeah, I know.
A little deeper.
Yeah. Forget that. So here's my fun fact. When we were at our peak, and we were doing, let's say, anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people every Friday night. The lines of cars.
Let me a quick footnote. Yeah. So Adam, for those that don't know, one of Adam's incredible ecosystem merging, Hello-DS, gravitational pull, influence mastery success stories is he took a club that should have been non-existent in the bowels of like heck in Jersey City, that should never have risen to anything, in a scary neighborhood, and turned it into one of the hottest clubs in New Jersey with thousands of people coming there, right? And so there was insanity of every sort imaginable to get to that place of effort, of work, of flyers, of people, of like, push-up competitions with Flavor Flav, like all kinds of craziness. So, and I am present to the dynamics of what an environment like that might look like. And footnote, like, what is it that you laugh at? One of the things I laugh at is the insanity of like people and the unexpected things we do. The dynamic of a politician getting on the screen and vilifying another politician for their insensitivity, and then having like an open microphone and saying something that would be heard that would be exactly what they are attacking the other person for doing. I find that to be funny. Like, that's my sense of humor. Like, we take ourselves so seriously. And when there's like irony, hypocrisy, like I just find it to be very humor filled, or abject insanity, like where normal people do crazy things. I think that we're a lot of different people reside inside of us. There's like different energies, there's different dynamics. So when, we think of, normal people, when people do things that are uncharacteristic of them because they get into an emotional state, I find that to be very funny as well. So that's like my humor. So Adam, because he is so intent on his heart-centeredness, his love, his like sort of like no ripples, no waves, the dude was a club promoter of thousands of people coming there. He was the man as a club promoter. And so it is very funny to me, like the Adam Gugino of today and that Adam Gugino as well, which in those days, I know he was still heart-centered, he was still integrous. Like, I know that, but it is very funny to think of Adam Gugino as a club promoter. Fernando, can you like resonate with that? Like, who Adam is, and he's like, when, let's say an off-color moment occurs and somebody saying something on a mastery call, I could feel the tension inside of him, and thinking of him putting like Flavor Flav in front of like 4,000 people on a weekend night, and that being the same guy, that's amazingly fun to me. Does that make sense, Fernando?
Yeah, it's hilarious. And we were at the Nerve Center. Like, we couldn't even say Big Booty Mix, which was like a YouTube channel, because Adam would completely freak out
All right.
And I
We need to
was
get up on the mic.
No, so
but let's go back. To
wait. I
want to.
Fernando, your audio is
Fernando,
messing.
you're cutting out.
Let's go back to you.
Fernando, you were cutting out, but I could add some color to that.
Yes.
The Big Booty Mix was on the TV, and and music that was playing. When we had 500 people in the call center. I was in charge of the music, and everybody would try to get on, and they would hop on when I would walk away, and the next thing you know, there would be songs which were playing throughout the entire 50,000 square feet that had some of the worst language in the world, and I would be running around like a maniac, and people would think it was funny. So I'm sensitive when it comes to the music that's being played in an office environment. That's all it is. So when the Big Booty Mix was on the TV, I just wanted to make sure we were careful about what was being played. That's all.
And by the way, I am not laughing at Adam's desire for like positive vibrational music and all of those things. I'm not laughing. It's beautiful, but it is kind of funny when he ran a club. Like that makes it funny. It doesn't change the outcome, but there's humor in it. It's like my dad, who yes, is thankful for all of your inquiries. He's doing better, not definitely out of the woods. So continues to need prayer in a big way. At home on oxygen, does have a touch of double pneumonia in both lungs. Did have some fever over the weekend, not the weekend, over Thanksgiving. So definitely still needs prayer, right? So thank you. And it's funny if my dad, to me, is having like this, conversation with me about me being a little bit crazy and like jumping in the ocean and getting bumped by a shark, to think of all of the insanity of his life in the 1970s and 80s. And my dad had a gun pointed to his forehead coming out of a club one night over a woman, like in Newark. Like gun to his forehead, with the guy's friends arguing whether or not they should kill him, like mob guys. And that's like the beginning of one of 1,000 stories. So my dad would be like, son, you got to really be careful. Like the ocean is dangerous. I'm like, this is coming from you? Like, this is hysterical. Like, do you know how much more safe I am in the ocean, like with sharks who never attack anybody? And the places, I said, Dad, I love you. Thank you. But like, do you find it a little bit ironic? And he'll look at me going, I think the ocean's more dangerous. I'm like, that's crazy. And you're in it. Like, that to me is just fun and funny. So Adam, back to you, brother.
I'm ready.
We're at the Big Booty Mix, and it's the 1990s or 2000s, and you're in the club world. And what's happening?
It was the early 2000s, and yes, everything you said leading up to how it became one of the largest and nightclubs in all the tri-state area for sure over the weekends of the summer. And at around 9, it would be a ghost town. People were there eating and relaxing, and then all of a sudden, around 10 o'clock, 10:30, the cars started lining up from the Sandbar up all the way up until the Holland Tunnel. People started just coming in droves up to the front of the club, and there was ropes like Studio 54, and it would fill up rather quickly. And then there would be a line from there, from the front door all the way deep into the parking lot, and people would come up. There was some significance and ego at play here. Of course, saying my name, and there'd probably be a couple hundred. Adam. I used to go inside, outside, come back in, do a shot, come back out to be able to kind of.
Wait, Adam, you were working and doing shots at the Sandbar?
Oh my God!
Yeah, they would. Yeah,
AG in the house. And so now, by the way, let's even think of how funny is it that there was a VIP area? Like there's a VIP area for an enterprise that gets started in the middle of nowhere where nobody wanted to go. And so Adam created an entire world with VIP ropes screaming, Adam, 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 in a place that a year before they had to beg people to even think about coming to. That's funny. Is it not, Adam Gugino?
I mean, I didn't think of it as being funny at the time. I was pretty proud
that we're now, like, you just invented reality. Like you
actually, Joseph Varghese is here, I had a conversation with him about this, and he actually said that this changed what he thought and with the reputation of the city, which is, I've always used to say, it's part of the reason why Jersey City started to have an influx of people because the whole mindset of what it was started to change at that point. But that's a story for another day. And I don't know if Joseph's here, but that's not even the fun part. The fun part is the fact that when these lines would start to, reach the end of the parking lot, I would go outside of the ropes and I would walk up and down the line and the group and look for females, whether they were with somebody or not, men or women. And I would ask them if they would like to step up to the front, and I would part the seas and walk up and open up the ropes and let about 50 to 100 girls in at once and hand them all a drink ticket and some even a bottle of champagne. And as they walked into the club. So, it was a little, I guess, unfair to men at that time. And
this guy said part the seas.
Part the
Adam
seas.
Sabino was parting the seas like Moses, leading. Now here's what's interesting. And now we get into a lot of fun, but I would love Nicole to be unmuted. I'd love Joseph to be unmuted, by the way. But I want Nicole to share the shirt that she used to wear to the sandbar, because she used to go to your sandbar, Adam Vigino, by the way. So I'd love to hear that in a second. But what's super interesting is how we could take a position on one side. Like I think you would stand in the world, right, for the principle of not objectifying women. Like I know you stand for that. Is that fair? AG?
That is absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And that is more than fair. It is more than fair. I respect, again, even when it comes to cursing in front of females, I've been told by my mom since I've been a child that you just shouldn't say the F word in front of girls. And until I went into school and I started getting cursed out for no reason, and then I was like, okay, maybe I went back to my mom and I said, is it really that bad but yes, just the language and yes, all of it.
But Correct. It is funny how circumstantially though, right? And this is where we could take ourselves not so seriously, that literally, I am quite confident that your selection criteria wasn't the fact that they had the best grades, the people that you're picking. Is that fair?
Okay, so I will say this.
This is great.
It's a yes or no question.
This is great.
No.
Were you picking?
It's a yes or no question,
okay,
Adam.
Here's the yes or no question. The ones that were more attractive, I would have probably picked first, but I was let everybody, if you were a female and you were willing to step up, you were walking in with me, no questions asked. So that is for sure.
But at the very least, there was a gender bias dynamic.
Yes.
That you were perpetuating.
Yes. Yes. That was the only bias at that front door. The only bias at that front door. Yet we also had some restrictions on what you could wear, of course, and that was, that was a challenge at times. But yes.
Adam creating Integra frames all over the place right now.
But that's why even at 22 years old, remember, I was 22, 23 years old. And even at that time, I had that mindset. I was always worried, concerned, and thinking about everybody's feelings in those scenarios. However, to answer your question, there was absolute gender bias everywhere. So that, yes.
But and on a fun Friday, you go, gender bias is not funny. I'm not saying gender bias is funny. I'm saying Adam is the least gender biased person in the entire world, but he was biased against men and kept them out of the sandbar and let women in ahead of them. And in our society and culture, this is like what I find to be funny, is like we can't be honest with ourselves and go, yes, in some situations we allow for bias, and in other situations we don't. And in the situations that we agree with it about, we go, that's totally okay, because that's just fun. And then if we don't agree with it, then we make it not fun. So what I'm just for fun speaking into for a moment, which that's what I find to be funny, is how we could not see our own dynamic. And whomever, let's say, if it's a professional sports team, like I'm a Jet fan, and Jet fans can't stand, for the most part, Tom Brady, right? Because he wins too much. And because he is too eloquent and too professional in his interviews. If he was our quarterback, we'd love him. We would love everything about him. We'd be like building statues of Tom Brady, just like the Patriots. But it's so funny how our subjectivity, to me, that's funny, how, and we're not present to that reality. And you could hear Jet fans literally for years engage in how much they can't stand Tom Brady and his cockiness and him and Bill Belichick. And like Brady and his smugness, he would say virtually nothing that was like in any way, shape, or form out of line. And that would make Jet fans crazy. Now imagine if he talked like Muhammad Ali, because he wasn't like, we're going to go in, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Like there was no like flag in the groundness generally about Tom Brady, right? And Jet fans would go completely crazy, including me. Like I remember I couldn't stand Tom Brady. I'm like, right? And to me, that is humor and fun, is our ability to become hypocritical of our own standards and be not present to it. And then if we could become present to it and we're able to laugh at ourselves, first of all, I think it's fun. And second of all, I think it begins to solve challenges. So Adam Gugino, can you, for everybody, admit that you were engaged in running a gender bias dynamic at the Sandbar and you are the least gender biased person in the world? But you did that.
I think I have already admitted it, but I will, if I haven't.
This is my favorite huddle
admitted it, I will admit it. I will admit it again. It was clear and it was clear and present. It was clear and present.
And that it was
if I could go back and change it, I wouldn't. Okay.
And that if me and my friends came in, there would have been no shot in heck that we would have been getting into the Sandbar anytime soon. Is that a fair?
Listen, I would still get everybody in by the end of the night, everybody was getting in. It's just that you would have to wait maybe an hour or two longer.
Exactly.
Right. So here,
there's
so
Joseph.
let me jump in on this real quick.
Joseph Varghese is here.
Yes, I'm here.
Joseph, did Adam Gugino let you into the Sandbar?
He did, absolutely. And of course, I don't recognize Adam from 20 years ago where this all happened. I moved to Jersey City in 97 and something shifted in a huge way around 99. And of course, like Grove Street and Exchange Place and all those things were parts of the dynamic as far as the shift that happened. But the Sandbar was a desert. It was just that. Like I went there in 97, moving into the area on Grand Street, and I went to get a sandwich. I was like, "What is this about?" It's like it's complete desert. And I remember seeing a biker walk up into the Sandbar, and he was wearing all black. And I was getting scuba diving back then, and I didn't know it was a biker. So I'm like, "Oh, are you diving here? Are you going to dive into?" Because he's wearing all black, like down to his gloves, everything. And he just looked at me with a smug look, like get out, And then like a year later, like something shifts, or a couple of years later, something shifts. Like thousands of people are like going to the Sandbar, and a lot of them are obviously drunk, and there are lines. And my friends are like, what's happening here? We're like 3 blocks away from this place. And, so I start going, and of course, I'm 26 years old, my kind of drunken stupor post-college days at that point. And there were times, even though I lived like 3 blocks away from the place, that I literally had to wait like an hour to get in. So I have a lot of those memories. And there were fun memories too, like the fun, stupid, drunken memories. I have a lot of those memories from being there. And it was local. And there was a huge shift that happened in the area after that. Like all these restaurants are opening. Oddfellows from Hoboken moved over, like restaurants galore on Grove Street. And I would say that, the bringing of thousands of people, that awareness that, hey, Jersey City, Statue of Liberty, like all these great things, was a catalyst, like toward like some of that. So I Adam, you might have been indirectly responsible for some of that happening.
So Joseph, what I'm hearing you say is that Adam Gugino shifted the HUI, the heroic unique identity of Jersey City.
Yes.
In part shifted because of Adam Gugino and his pioneering work at the Sandbar. Is that what we're hearing?
Exactly. There was a 2 millimeter shift that happened during those years, and people became aware of Jersey City, more aware of Jersey City.
I can feel Adam feeling better by the moment right now.
So
Fernando, you know me too well. Fernando knows me too well.
Let's bring Adam back to earth then. Nicole, are you out there?
Hold on real quick. Joseph.
Happy Friday.
Nicole, I love you. Give me 1 sec. Joseph, thank you, Joseph, for that. And Sean, I had a call. We had an alignment call to chat, me and Joseph. and we spent 45 minutes talking about the sandbar. Completely didn't say not one word about anything we were doing other than that. But yes, we did continue the conversation, of course. But Nicole, please, I'm looking forward.
And I will be throwing myself under the bus momentarily, because I don't believe in like teasing and busting chops unless you throw yourself under the bus as well. So I'm about to throw myself under the bus. So Tink, happy Thanksgiving. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So any sandbar memory, like what would pop for you?
I loved the sandbar. Great job, Adam. But I do have to share, this feels like a lifetime ago. I did have a shirt, this is making fun of myself, that said, "I love Guidos." And I actually still have that shirt because it's still too funny to me to get rid of and ridiculous.
And would you wear that to the sandbar, Nicole?
I might have on occasion, yes.
And what type of reactions would you get when you walked into the sandbar with a shirt that said, "I love Guidos"?
Oh, it was hysterical. I mean, that was not a derogatory term back then. I think the Jersey Shore TV show on MTV made it into that. But at the time, that was actually not a bad term. So.
And how many gentlemen claimed to be a Guido or said something in relationship to your T-shirt?
Many of them very proudly did.
So that is amazing.
I'm sure there was a lot of "we love you too." I'm sure there was a lot of that.
And Nicole, what was one of the more ridiculous things that you experienced and saw at the sandbar?
I can't think of anything specific. There was a lot of drunken ridiculousness. So.
Okay, I am quite sure. So, all right. Let's pause on this. Joseph, you were not at the LBI immersion. Nicole, Adam, Fernando were. Many of you were. So I will tell you this, right? Obviously, I enjoy adventure. I enjoy pushing the envelope and the edges of things. So there was a moment when we went up the sand dune, Jaws music playing, roaring up the dune, like ready to go. We're all holding hands, like gonna jump in the ocean. People are heading in, screaming, yelling. And Gina's body, who I thought at the time was Rose, not Gina, went flying past. I've told that story before, and then came back again. And in that moment, with people screaming, yelling, insanity occurring, and then seeing Andres come out of the ocean, like holding his head, and hearing somebody else say somebody was bleeding. In that moment, I said, I am in trouble, and we are in trouble, because this has gone so far over the parameter of insanity that I was like so present to the potential reality of something crazy happening. And my heart was like pounding, like something crazy was going to happen. Adam, I don't know, Fernando.
I'm laughing right now, but I'm cracking up.
If I've ever been that direct,
I feel nervous
about it. But in that moment, I was like, we are in trouble. Like that like flew through my nervous system. Like, you did it over the edge. This is like way too crazy. Like, you should have stopped, because when we were all drifting towards the jetty, I had the exact same feeling in a moment. I was like, this has gone too far. Like, this has gone too far. And like, oh my God, the jetty is like 100 meters away. And I forget who was near me in the water. I knew I was going to be able to get out. I'm like, I can't leave this water. I don't know if they're going to be able to get out. I knew the lifeguards were there. And so, yes, those are two moments in the LBI immersion when I was like, we have jumped the shark, and this is like completely off the reservation.
Jump the shark, no pun intended.
Yes, no pun intended.
This is hilarious. It's only a pending doom or potential death. That's when the lines of boundaries come close.
And by the way, Sean, I felt that way ever since you said we were still going out. So imagine me. I'm feeling that walking up in the water. I mean, it was like, I knew this was going to happen. Like, this is why I was trying to stop it.
Adam,
Adam didn't want it.
Yeah. Adam, how much did you want to say, we cannot do this, stop this insanity? Like, how much was that in your heart, as like people were like,
a 9.9999999.
It wasn't even in his heart. He said it.
Oh my God.
I said it.
Yeah.
I was, it was just funny. It was great.
Yes. So Nicole, what did you think as like the Jaws music was heading up the sand dune? What were you thinking in LBI?
I thought it was perfect. I thought it was just brilliant. That kind of stuff absolutely excites me. I was so proud to be there and a part of that. So I love the madness.
Amazing. Fernando, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts were I might as well just accept the reality because I know that Sean's not going to back down from this. So I wasn't happy about it, but I very quickly accepted.
No.
Yes,
and I
Fernando
do
was the one that just came to me and said, Fernando's like, Adam, it's happening. Just deal with it. It's happening. I said, all right.
Just get over it.
And I do thank the likes of Mike Adams and Joe Hagan and everybody that was there, making sure that their crew got out of there safely, and it was many. That was
you went in by three. That was an amazing. That was amazing though, Sean. Everybody went in 3 at a time. Everyone held hands, so we all had buddies. Like it made the way we did it was definitely the safest way possible. It just, which you weren't able to see, the water was, and I know you were in earlier, but I mean, it had gotten worse from when it was in the morning and in the afternoon. And all I could think was the fact that it's worse than it was today, like, and dark, and like, this is just insane. But of course, you know, it all worked out.
Yes. When you say the safest possible and nowhere in that mix is their life vest, I am confused.
I mean, you know,
Well,
buddy says
this is real fake confusion.
Yes. So, yes. So the dynamic and world that we live in is quite a funny one. Is anybody that wants to share anything about any of those subjects or anything else that they find fun and humor filled, please feel free to unmute and jump in. If we could get some unmuting, Unblinded team, and we'll lean in a little bit, and we're going to wrap this in just a couple of moments. If anybody out there looking to jump in, Adam, Fernando.
don't see
Optics show, but it looks like I didn't hear anyone else jump in. So back to you.
Yeah, so let's bring Ruth. I was just thinking about Ruth. I was thinking about you in the water. I was going to say Ruth as part of like the life-saving crew in the water, but good, Ruth.
Well, I think your optics are off on that one. I was the first one in the water and I lost my third because it was just Brian Reppel and I was just typing in the chat, we really needed a third because I proceeded to go upside down and Brian lost my hand and I was like, I am screwed. Like I am completely screwed. But it worked out in the end. I crawled on my hands and my knees and then I got blown over again and pulled back in. And I thought, it is in this moment I am gonna die. So just hold your breath, do what Sean said, and Brian was like not letting me die, but I thought I had that moment like, this could really be the end. This is so fascinating. So I came out and Brian goes, they're all going in. Let's go in again. I go, I'm not going in again. So he went in again with the rest of you guys, but I was like all proud that I went in first. And I thought, okay, I could have died alone in there. How interesting. Stupid, but interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my question really is to Adam, because you shared the moment where you were like, oh my God, maybe this isn't such a good idea. I'm curious in his working at the sandbar, if he ever had a similar moment where he was like, this has gone a little over the top and it could go bad really quickly.
So the answer to your question is yes. There was 2 occasions. One was that we were so packed that the entire club would shift at one time. So as I'm talking 3,000 people throughout the whole place would all shift together. It was a very scary feeling to be in that. Thank God no one got hurt, no one got trampled. But that night it had gone a little too far with the amount of people that came in, for sure. And when you
say shift, excuse me, when you say shift, what do you mean shift?
I mean shift, like everyone, if the whole 4,000 people would go to the left together, or to the right.
Oh my God.
Ruth with the skills on that one.
It was just the whole, it was like a crowd, it was like one entire like movement because of the amount of people that were inside.
Thank you.
So, and then there was a lot of outdoors too. So pretty quickly, people started to clear out and go outside. So it didn't last too long, but it was definitely, this had gone a little too far. And then one night this one is insane. Where we were doing everything over the summer, of course, every Friday night in the summer, and we decided, let's do a night in the winter. Let's start a winter party here because it's so great. And we ended up doing the same thing, promoting with flyers every day, every night. And we did the event starting in November, and we launched, and we had 2,000 people show up. But what we weren't prepared for in Process Mastery was a coat check, and we had tables, and everyone was just hanging up their coats. So as we had an amazing night celebrating our victory, we went upstairs to tell the owner, like, how, oh my God, we did it. It's going to be great. And then we went downstairs, and there was riot police everywhere because there was a coat. There was a coat check riot. Somebody took the table, moved it out of the way, hopped over, got their jacket, and it wasn't theirs, and left. And then the next thing you know, everybody went up and grabbed their coats. There was hundreds of people that lost their coat. It was just insane. And we didn't do another. The next week, about 100 people showed up, and we had to go back to the summer. That's your question was that things had gone a little awry.
Adam, ladies and gentlemen. Ruth, that is amazing. And Ruth, final for you. Are you having fun, Ruth?
Oh, every day. It's all a surprise.
Yeah. And if we're able to like shift this fun energy into laughing at ourselves about the things that we fear in our business development acceleration, it just like frees us, and like when you feel that like moment of like super intense, like scariness happen, the ability to shift it with some degree of lightness, a recognition of the reality of like the false stories that we're creating, I believe is an unbelievably empowering moment and dynamic of acceleration. So Ruth, thank you for everything. Joseph, Nicole, you guys are awesome, and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. All right. So taking this thing home, final. I think our takeaway from today, hopefully, is where are you taking yourself, your problem, your issue, your things too seriously? We all do it. I do it. You do it. We all do it. And where is that showing up? And how can you shift into some fun energy and change the story? Just change the story and the dynamic into something else. And where is it that you're looking at people like those people over there, with that like judgment and like rule structure, right? And that we're not applying to ourselves in the same way to like release that, lessen the tension and the seriousness. Because I think the seriousness, because it increases our ability to flow, our ability to be in zone action, our ability to create and have fun in the process and find that magic. So Fernando, final, brother. By the way, Adam, thank you. That was a lot of fun. And thank you for being you. Thank you for dealing with my insanity, because I know that every bit of the insanity that is inside of me is inside of you. And love you, brother. And thank you.
Love you too. And listen, the formula was present. The more I think about all of those moments, and like you said, the building of the club itself, and it was the formula. It was ecosystem merging. It was process mastery. It was influence mastery. It was stage and microphones all day. I mean, it's amazing looking back and how it all applied.
Well, that is awesome, AJ. Thank you, brother. Fernando, final.
I am super grateful for Adam Gugino being the sacrificial person, as I got to be a fly in the wall and no questions were asked to Fernando whatsoever. It is past our time on the huddle, so I am safe. Thank you, Adam Gugino, for doing what you do. And I love you guys. Back to you, Sean.
Love you. Hey, listen, let's have some fun because December is about to be here. We're going to have an amazing month, completing our year together, launching into 2021. But the time is not to like let up now. Have some fun. Breathe in. Let's set fun. Breath equals creativity, focus, possibility. Everything is possible. Money, time, and magic present. And we're going to have some great stuff over the weekend that we're going to lean into. And today, hopefully you do as well. But let's be ready to rock and roll on Monday, because we are going to make this an unbelievable conclusion to the year. Access points all over the place to next levels of acceleration. Thank you guys. Love you. And by the way, Lita Ford is going to take us into the weekend.